I get at least 3 DMs every single week asking the exact same thing. Hey Arjun, can you review my YC application? And the honest answer is, I can't review every single application that someone sends me, but I can do something better. I am going to open a blank Y Combinator application right now, and I'm going to fill it out live, as if I were applying for doola today. I'm going to go through every single question with you. Hey, I'm Arjun, CEO and founder of doola.com, a Y Combinator-backed venture-backed startup in New York City that's raised over 13 million. Open your application, let's write together. Section 1, founders. Question. Who writes the code or does other technical work on your product? Was any of it done by a non-founder? Please explain. Y Combinator doesn't like outsourcing. If you say we hired a dev shop, that isn't the best thing because you are a tech company. You can't really have a dev shop build the core product. So YC wants to see that's in-house. They want to really know, can you build or can your team build? So be honest here. If you write code, say I write code. If your co-founder writes code, say they write code. If you don't know how to write code, say I'm building a no-code solution, but I need to hire a founding engineer who will write the code. Be honest, but I would emphasize that the ownership of code is going to be in-house or is in-house. Question, are you looking for a co-founder? My advice here is just to be honest. If you are a solo founder, say you are a solo founder. If you're a solo founder looking for a co-founder, say you're looking for a co-founder. If you have a co-founder, say who they are. But ultimately, I'll give you this reminder. I think having a co-founder is better than having no co-founder. But having no co-founder is better than having a bad co-founder. So that doesn't mean you can't get into YC without a co-founder, but YC does like having co-founders because the journey is hard. And anytime you can go on the journey with someone else, it can be helpful. Section 2, your founder video. Please record a 1-minute video introducing the founders. Now, let me give you some candid advice here. This is not the place to submit a demo or a promotional video. If you have a demo for the product, there's a separate place coming up in the application for that. For this video, what YC really wants to see and hear is how do the founders communicate. If you have more than one founder, all of your founders should go in the video. If you can't be in the same room at the same time, do a screen recording instead of a video call, but it's ideal if you can be in the same room. Here's another key part of advice. Do not recite or read a written script. Use bullet points instead. Seriously, just talk spontaneously as if you were talking to a friend. Reading a written script will not help your application or convey your communication skills. Again, if I had to summarize this, you don't need high production value, you don't need scripts, you don't need flashy music. Seriously, just pull up your webcam, talk for 1 minute max, naturally. Hey, I'm Arjun, I'm building doola.com. We help founders start and scale an LLC from anywhere in the world, etc. Section 3, company. Question, company name. Do not overthink the name, you can change it in the future. Pop it in right here. Question, describe what your company does in 50 characters or less. I actually think this is one of the most important lines in the entire application. Do not use buzzwords. Be extremely precise here. This can be your slogan or a hook, but it can be as simple as, we help international founders start US companies in the case of doola. Question, company URL, if any. If you have a URL, add it in, but notice they said, if any. You do not need a URL or an active website to apply to YC. I think that's pretty magical. Question, if you have a demo, attach it below. Here's some rules for the demo. Screen recording only. You don't need music, simply just narrate what the user does. In doola's example, first I click here, and then I get the LLC. Then I get to do my taxes, and my bookkeeping is handled. Question, please provide a link to the product, if any. Again, I think this is so cool. It says if any. You don't even need a working product to apply to YC. You can add that here, and if login credentials are required for the demo, you can enter them here as well. Question, what is your company going to make? Please describe your product and what it does or will do. Now, let me make the distinction between the 50-character line question and this question. I think of the 50-character line question as the hook. This question is the mechanics, it's the meat. So my answer could be, we built a web dashboard where users first answer 5 questions. We then programmatically generate their filing documents, send them to the state, and return with an LLC and an EIN. This is the meat and the potatoes. The 50-character line is the cover of the book. Question, where do you live now and where will the company be based after Y Combinator? Here you should use the format city A, country A / city B, country B. Keep it simple. Question, explain your decision regarding location. Here's a tip, or here's some blunt advice for me. You should be in San Francisco for the YC batch. YC is now back in person. I was actually in the first batch that went remote, and let me just say, I never got to experience the magic of the in-person batch. If you get into YC, fly there, they're going to invest $500,000 in your business, say you're going to be in San Francisco for the batch, and then book tickets and get to San Francisco. Section 4, progress. Question, how far along are you? The biggest thing YC is looking for here is speed. It's velocity. That is the single most important attribute, the most productive attribute for a startup to succeed. Question: how long have each of you been working on this? How much of that has been full-time? Please explain. Now, let's go through a couple red flags and then some green flags. One red flag is that you've been working for several years without a single product or user. Again, don't lie, but they want to see progress and traction. Another red flag is actually that you're part-time. Now, here's the thing that's hard. You might need the money to quit your job, but what YC is looking for is someone who's full-time committed on the venture. So a green flag here would be, we're full-time, we left our jobs X months ago, and we have this many paying users. Now, let me just say this too. If you are part-time or you haven't left your job yet, again, don't lie here. I would be open and say, I'm currently part-time working on the job, but after getting into YC, the plan is to leave and go full-time. Again, be honest here, be open, but what YC wants to see is people full-time working on their ventures. Question: what tech stack are you using or planning to use to build this product? Include AI models and AI coding tools you use. Do not force fit AI if you aren't an AI company. Just simply list out the tech stack that you use and focus on being concise and simple. Question: are people using your product? This is a simple yes or no question. Just check whatever's true. Do not lie. Question: do you have revenue? This is yet another simple yes or no question. Do not lie. Just check yes or check no. Question: if you are applying with the same idea as a previous batch, did anything change? If you applied with a different idea, why did you pivot and what did you learn from the last idea? YC is asking this question because they want to see what you were learning. For example, we realized the old idea was too small, so we pivoted to this, which is growing faster. Question: if you have already participated or committed to participate in an incubator, accelerator, or pre-accelerator program, please tell us about it. Just list them. Don't hide it. It's okay if you applied to or gotten into other accelerators other than Y Combinator. Section 5, idea. Question: why did you pick this idea to work on? Do you have domain expertise in this area? How do you know people need what you're making? YC's slogan is make something people want. It should be, or could be, make something people need. And YC here is digging for your founder market fit. This is the why you question. So my answer might be, I tried to help my friend start a company. I spent weeks faxing the IRS and realized the process was broken. So I decided to fix it. Question: who are your competitors? What do you understand about your business that they don't? Here is the mistake. Do not say you do not have competitors. You'll look naive, and the truth is, everyone has competitors. If you don't have competitors, there might not be a problem worth solving. And I actually think competition shows that the problem hasn't been perfectly solved, or there is a problem to be solved in a massive space with a validated problem. So be direct about your competitors, but this is where you can show your unique insight. Do you serve a customer segment that they don't serve? Have you innovated in terms of the tech stack or a way to deliver the solution that others haven't? This is your contrarian insight. This is the question where I like to think a YC partner should leave the room saying, whoa, I learned something new. Let me share Doola's example here. What we learned is that for non-US founders, the buyer journey is backwards. US founders think, let me name my business, let me start the LLC, let me get a bank account and do my taxes. Non-US founders think completely backwards. They say, what about taxes? Then, okay, what about getting a bank account? Then, okay, let's figure out the LLC formation. The buyer journey was completely flipped. That was our unique insight, which is why we launched taxes first. Question: how do or will you make money? How much could you make? Full caveat here. YC literally says, we realize you can't know precisely, but give your best estimate. So I'm telling you, you can't figure it out precisely, but give your best estimate. Now, the way I would do this is, again, a bottoms-up sizing. How much do you charge? How big is your market? Multiply them together. Seriously, keep it simple. It can't be exact, but give your best estimate. Question: which category best applies to your company? Pick the most relevant. Don't overthink it. That's it. Question: if you had any other ideas you considered applying with, please list them. One may be something we've been waiting for. Often when we fund people, it's to do something they list here and not in the main application. This is what YC is digging for here. They might not think your business idea is fundable, but they might think you are fundable. Again, so many YC companies actually pivot. Doola was born out of a pivot as well. So this is where you should list the other ideas you had. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're fickle, but if YC believes in you, they might want to invest in you and they might like your other idea instead of the idea that you're applying with. Section 6, equity. Question: have you formed any legal entity yet? This may be in the US, in your home country, or in another country. Answer: simple. Just check yes or no. Question: have you taken any investment yet? If yes, check yes. If no, that's completely fine. YC obviously loves being the first check. Question: Are you currently fundraising? Again, very simple. If yes, check yes. If no, that's completely okay. Now, in this entire equity section, look at the questions they're asking. Have you formed any legal entity? Have you taken investment? To answer yes to this question and to look like a serious founder, you're going to need a company eventually. You cannot raise millions of dollars into a Venmo account or a personal bank account. This is literally what Doola does. We will form your US business so that you can be investor ready. Click the link below to get your entity set up right today. Section 7, curious. Question: what convinced you to apply to Y Combinator? Did someone encourage you to apply? Have you been to any YC events? Don't make up an answer here, and yes, flattery can work, but just tell them. Was it an alumni, or was it a friend, or was it me who said, hey, you should go apply? Question: how did you hear about Y Combinator? Again, keep this simple. It could have been a Paulgram essay, or it could have been this video. If you followed along, you now have a clear, jargon-free application that signals high potential to Y Combinator. But hitting submit is only step 1. If your written application is good, you are going to get invited to the most terrifying yet exciting 10 minutes of your life, the Y Combinator interview. I have been in that exact hot seat before, and I know the questions they're going to ask you. I recorded a full mock interview so you can prep for it. Click here to watch it next.